pregnant and alone. As someone who has been in your shoes before, I know you've got a million things going through your head right now. Regardless of who or how you got in this situation, it's not easy. And it doesn't matter if you've had kids before or if you're a first-time mom, it's still hard. My hope is that by the end of this video, I've given you some things to think about that maybe you hadn't thought about, some compassion and forgiveness for yourself, and maybe some hope, regardless of what decision you decide to make for you and your baby. Okay, so question number one you need to ask yourself, as money is usually the determining factor with a lot of women when it comes to should they or shouldn't they keep a baby. It was the first thing that popped in my head. But let's take money out of it for a second, okay? Let's say you had millions in the bank. You didn't have to work. What's your first instinct, okay? Do you want to keep that baby? If it's no, then you could probably stop watching this video right now, because you already have your answer. Deep down, you're not ready for this, or you just don't want to do this right now. And then you need to probably look at your resources, see what's available regarding adoption or abortion. And just as a disclaimer, I'm not pro-life or pro-abortion, pro-adoption. I think it's every woman's responsibility to themselves to figure out what's best for them and their baby. That being said, if the money doesn't have anything to do with it, if the first thing you think of is, well, yeah, I'd still want to keep my baby, okay, then we've got something to work with, okay? Then the money doesn't have anything to do with it. You can find a way to make this work. I did. Question number two you need to ask yourself, and this is if you have little or no support at all, like you are truly doing this on your own. What I would want you to think about is don't plan on those people that said they were going to support you to stick around. A lot can happen between between now and 9 months from now. Okay, I don't care if it's your mama, your grandma, your sister, anyone that said they were going to help you, and you think, great, I've got a free sitter, or I've got someone that will come over and help, watch the baby, while I try to take a nap, or help me while I'm at work, help me with feedings. I also was in this boat. I thought I had people that were going to support me, and when the time came for it, they weren't. I was still on my own. You need to account for this too, okay? Because if you decide to have a baby, there's no refunds or exchanges or returns once you have this baby. At the end of the day, you're the one that's going to be stuck with this baby, okay? No one is here to save you. Don't count on, obviously, the baby's daddy if you're alone. Don't count on the government. Don't count on family. Don't count on your friends. At the end of the day, no one is here to save you. You have to save you, okay? If you're still okay, truly doing this alone, without any support, then you'll be okay. At least you'll be in a better mindset that this is something you can do by yourself. That being said, here's the next thing I want you to think about too. Don't always assume that, this is especially true if you're a first-time mom, okay? If you've had other kids before, this was my case. I had one child before when I found myself pregnant and alone with kid number two. You already know what you're getting yourself into when it comes to pregnancy and childbirth and kids. It still makes it hard. Don't get me wrong. It is still hard being alone. But if you're a brand new mom, if this is your first baby, oh my goodness. I can't even begin to tell you how much this will change your life, good and bad. I think there's way too many moms out there, okay, that only give you the good, that only tell you the good. This is an honest chat, okay? This is a big sister chat right here. And I was in this boat too. When I had my first kid, everyone told me motherhood was wonderful, pregnancy was easy. None of that was true, okay? Nothing they tell you can prepare you for never getting any sleep, waking up every 2 hours for a feeding, okay? I've had now 4 kids total, and I will tell you honestly, none of my children actually slept through the night until at least a year old. Most of them were not even a year and a half old. The lack of sleep and how draining it is, postpartum depression is an absolute real thing, okay? this stuff will drive you to drink, to pull your hair out, and God forbid, you might even have suicidal thoughts. But I'm just being honest, okay? This is not a picnic. And when you're alone, it is 10 times worse, okay? That being said, though, this is something you can do. It's not all doom and gloom, but I did say this was going to be honest, okay? Next thing I want you to think about, because let's say you just left your boyfriend or the baby's daddy a couple months ago. Now you find yourself pregnant, or you're in the process of getting divorced from your husband and find yourself pregnant with his child. Your first thought might be, you know what, maybe I should go back to them. Maybe I can see if we can work this out. This might help me. Don't do that either, okay? At least from my experience, I did do that. I try to do that. It did seem like they were at least a little bit involved for a little bit, but it didn't even last through the pregnancy, okay? I believe there's a quote, I think it's from Maya Angelou, but, you know, it says, if people show you who they really are, believe them, okay? There is a reason you left them, okay? If they couldn't step up, if they weren't a good man before you had a baby, they're definitely not going to be what you need after you've had the baby, okay? And that brings me to my last point, and that's just because you're alone now doesn't mean you're going to be alone forever, okay? I was single for many years with my 2 kids, you know, but one day I found my knight in shining armor. He also had kids and was divorced, kids from his previous marriage, and we had a blended family. He adopted my child. He loved my kid as if it was his own, and he's the only dad my son has ever known, and I'm all the better for it. It can be wonderful, but it doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to be alone your whole life, okay? So I hope this has been helpful. If you found any value in this, please leave a comment down below, like or subscribe. Leave a comment, let me know if you're a first-time mom or you're a seasoned mother like myself. Like I said, your life isn't over, okay? The baby does not have to be the end-all to your existence. It's hard, don't get me wrong, but don't settle, okay? You deserve better than that. Your baby deserves better than that. Don't just go back to your ex just because you think you have no other options out there, okay? There are plenty of good men out there. They just haven't found you yet. All right, till next time, God bless.